Hello guys, it's Boy from Sweden, and today we are going to be taking a look at the most amount of cases ever opened without a gold, a so-called dry streak. Now, I recently had my longest streak ever of cases opened without a gold inside of it, and yes, it's probably not the world's actual longest dry streak ever, but for me, this is by far my longest time without a knife ever. And I just thought today would be a good day to explain why it's not a good thing to open cases and why you're better off just buying the skins from the case that you want to open. Whether it be the knife or the op or whatever skin from the case you want, it's just better to buy them. And I actually have all of these statistics and the exact price, the value of every single skin that I opened, case that I opened, how much I lost and profited. Yeah, basically I'm just an autist. I just spent way too much making this spreadsheet and we're gonna check it today. But before that, I want to thank today's video sponsor, which is Skinland. Skinland is a CS2 marketplace where you can buy and sell your CS2 skins for real money safely. And very important, you can use code ANOMALY to get a bonus of up to $10 if you sell skins for $100 or more. On Skinland, you can buy skins for a lot cheaper than Steam as well, using one of their many payment methods. For example, on Skinland, a Talon Marble would cost you $830. Meanwhile, on Steam, you'd pay over 1,050 euro, which is way more. Thank you once again, Skinland, very much for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to it. Now, like I said, there has been many dry streaks, and people have dry streaks all the time. A dry streak is basically, let's say I would open all of these cases without a gold. Would that be a dry streak? I mean, technically, but it's only like 150 cases here, so I wouldn't really say that it counts, because that's less than the odds of a gold. A gold is like almost 1 in 400, so you kinda need like 400 for it to be a good dry streak, I guess, even though no dry streak is really good. And I mean, people have case dry streaks all the time. I'm not the first guy to have a dry streak this big. Other content creators and traders that open cases and old streamers like Mutar2k, I think, had a very significant dry streak. And I mean, my friend Streetman, he's opened thousands of cases this year already, and I think he's already had 2 1,000 case dry streaks or something. It's crazy. Now, the amount of cases that I opened without a single gold this year was 1,886 cases. So I spent something like 2 or 3 hours getting all of this data by first copying my inventory history, where it looks like this, where you can see the exact time and what action you did and with what skin it was. Then I just filtered all of the cases that I had opened between golds, which was 1,886, and then I matched those skins in that list up with the float values that I fetched using the API from my inventory, and here are the actual numbers. So out of 1,186 cases, I opened almost 1,500 blue skins and 157 stat track blues, 334 purples and 37 stat track purples, 59 pinks and 5 stat track pinks, 8 reds and 1 stat track red. And you see, in total, this adds up to 1,886 skins opened. And here you can see the percentages of those opened. So almost 80% of all those near 2,000 cases are blue, and only 0.05% of them are stat track reds, which is very sad. In total, this is how much money I spent on opening the cases, which got me these different skins. This is how much the skins are worth that I opened, and finally, this is the profit. So you can see from the blues alone, I lost $6,640 almost. And as you can probably imagine, the only cases that I profited from was the pinks and upwards. So I wondered to myself, why didn't I just open those cases where I got the pinks and the reds from? Huh? So yeah, if you're ever thinking, oh, maybe Anomaly is wrong, I just want to open a few cases, then maybe you want to pause here for a second and just take a look at the screen and reconsider that statement. And now, with this data, let's check some fun stats. The total cost of all the keys was $4,715. The total cost of the cases was $5,417.77. So I didn't only open shit cheap cases, I was opening actual good cases. And in in total, these two together cost me $10,132. Haha, yes. And all of these almost 2,000 skins in real value, in real money, is only worth just about $1,600, which means we operated at a net loss of a slight $8,536. That feels good in my heart. I could have donated it to like kids in Africa. Not that I'd ever do that, but I'm kidding. For some interesting stats, the most cases between pinks in my opening was 140, which is very sad. Most blues in a row was 19, which means if you now sit at home and you're like, maybe I'll open some cases for my alimony. You know, 20 cases, you go in here, unlock container, you choose 20, right? That's the max amount, and then you open. It's gonna cost you at least 50 euro. So imagine you open these 20 cases, right? And 19 of them turns out to be blue. And then you have one skin left. And from my spreadsheet, I know that last skin that wasn't a blue was a purple. Nice. Next up, the most blues in 33 cases, which may seem a little weird, but it was basically 2 blue streaks right after each other. So in 33 cases, I got 32 blues. And the one skin in the middle that kind of broke up the 2 blue streaks was a purple. My longest blue and purple streak, meaning the longest time where I was only opening either blues or purples, was literally 92 cases in a row, where I got 81 blues and 11 purples, which is so sad and so unlucky. Imagine you're doing 100 case opening and 81 of them are blue and 11 purple. Like, that's so sad. And finally, within this gold dry streak, we also had a insane red dry streak, meaning the amount of cases I opened where I did not get a single red. 962 cases. And just so you guys know, 700 of those cases were just when the fever case was released, and I was trying to get the gold because it was glitched and the op print stream, and I got none in 700 cases, and then 262 cases after, I still hadn't gotten a red. So it's absolutely insane. Now, having a dry streak that's this long is actually very rare. You might not think so, you know, opening a gold, that's rare, but opening almost 2,000 cases without a gold is almost as rare as a gold, because the odds of opening a gold is 0.256%, meaning that the odds of not opening a gold from a case is 99.744%. So the chance of not opening a gold from one case is almost 100%. But what if you're opening 50 cases? Well, the odds of not opening a gold in 50 cases is still basically 90%, so that would be very rare. The chance of not opening a gold in 200 cases, however, is 60%, meaning that if you open 200 cases, you actually have a pretty good chance of getting a knife. The odds of not opening a gold in 1,000 cases, however, is only 7.7% chance. If you do like a Dragon Lore trade up with 10% chance, you have a much better chance there of hitting the Dragon Lore than you do opening 1,000 cases without a gold. And now for the grand reveal, the odds of not opening a gold from 1,886 cases, like I did this year, it's only a chance of 0.795%. It's only a little bit more rarer to open a knife than 2,000 cases without a gold. That is pretty fucking interesting. That's also why it's so incredibly rare to have dry streaks over 2,000, and it hasn't happened that many times. Now, we have all of the statistics, but let's take a look quickly at what I could have bought with the money that I lost. Not the money I spent on the cases, just the money I lost. Huh? So it seems that we're having some power outages in Malta, so I don't have any internet now, which is nice. I still have power, but just no internet, so I guess I'll show you the things I could have bought with the money I lost a little later. Hey, I'm normally with internet here, so I would have been able to buy this entire house in Sweden instead of the money that I just lost on this dry streak. And literally, it's basically the exact same price. Look, this looks hella wholesome, no? It's an actual full-blown house. Okay, maybe the roof is kinda caving in, but I mean, it's a house, you know, kinda. You get a bike from the 1400s, and I mean, you get this kitchen which cooked up some mean beans during the Great Depression. Like, look, bro, you actually could live here if you wanted to. And instead, I just lost it on cases. I also could have bought 39 and a half years of Netflix subscription, or I could have bought 494 armory passes back to back to back. But since that's basically like opening cases, and I always say it's better to just buy the skin, I could have bought this Op Gungnir, which is almost exactly 8.6k. And dude, it looks so nice, man. Well, I mean, technically this is blue as well, and I got a lot of blues, so I guess it's the same thing. Or I could have actually gone ahead and bought a brand new skeleton knife ruby at list price, which is actually what I did. That's why I have this one. Way. Now, let's go back to Anomaly without internet. Now you really see what I mean when I say it's not worth opening cases. If you want skins, you want a nice inventory and a nice loadout, a nice knife specifically, you really shouldn't open cases. It's not worth it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That was my longest dry streak ever by far, and this is really a record that I hope I'll never break, because that means I would have to be so lucky by being unlucky, and I still have no internet. So thank you guys for watching. I hope I convinced you never to open cases again, and now I'm gonna go have to explain to my bank how I spent that stupid ass house in Sweden on quite literally just blues. Whoop him!